Man, I didn't think this video would get so emotional. These onions, they're some tear jerkers. These smell like so good though, oh my gosh. I'm so excited to eat these. Take two. Okay. Today I'm showing you all how to make, or at least how we make, ketovore/carnivore meatballs. So today is Sunday, and usually throughout the week my family doesn't really get the opportunity to eat together just because me and my mom and my dad, we're all mostly carnivores, and so we eat things that are pretty different from what the rest of my family eat. But on Sundays we like to come together and just have a family dinner. So usually our Sundays will be that'll be more meat heavy, but we'll be doing something maybe a little bit more special. We're coming together and we're having a family meal all together, and so that's why we're doing meatballs today, is because we are having like spaghetti and meatballs. We can make them carnivore friendly. I'm just gonna show you guys how me and my family do meatballs. Just keep in mind that these meatballs, the meatballs that I'm making, they're not exactly strictly carnivore, they're more ketovore, because they do still have some ingredients like onion and garlic and other spices and that sort of thing. But if you wanted to make them completely carnivore, you could totally omit the garlic and the onion and just add in all the carnivore ingredients and salt, and it's pretty simple. And yeah, we'll do it. You'll recognize this egg from my last video if you watched it. That is like a really, really weird looking egg. There must have been something going on with that chicken. I don't know. This egg will have the honor of being the egg binder in our meatballs today. Okay, so as you can see here, oh my goodness, Snappy! You knocked on the door. Hi, do you want to be in the video? So I have all my ingredients, pretty much all my ingredients, out here on the counter, and as you can clearly see, it's very simple. So I have pork rinds, I have garlic, I have onion, I have an egg, and then I have some ground beef and ground pork. I have pork rinds because in typical meatball recipes you have breadcrumbs as a binder, but you can actually use like crushed up pork rinds as a pretty good substitute for breadcrumbs in recipes like meatloaf and meatballs. We're gonna start off by chopping up our onion and garlic and sauteing it in some ghee. So we'll do that first. Alright, so right here I've just got my onion and my garlic, and I'm gonna chop up got my garlic and my onion here, and that's ready to be cut up. So I'm gonna cut up all this garlic. This is 4 cloves right here, and then I'm gonna cut up about half of this onion, and then I'm gonna saute it over on the stove until the onions and the garlic are nice and cooked down. Let's hope I don't cry too much. Whew. Is anybody else feeling that? Jeez. I swear I need like goggles to cut up onions. Oh my goodness. Man, I didn't think this video would get so emotional. Or hardly even, like, I don't know how long the video will be at this point. We're almost there. Oh dear, I'm almost through it. Oh man, I might need a moment. Alright, so I've got all my onions chopped up, and now I'm just gonna take these and I'm gonna put them on a plate, and then we'll chop up the garlic. Onto the garlic. This won't be as hurtful as the onions. Like I said earlier, I've got 4 cloves of garlic, and I'm just gonna chop these all up. Ugh, my fingers are so sticky. Garlic stick. It's probably not a good idea. Don't do that. Don't do that. Alright, so I've got my garlic all finely diced here, so now I'm just gonna grab it. We're gonna put it on the plate, and then we're gonna head on over to the stove to saute this stuff up. Funny thing, I filmed everything sauteing the onions and the garlic, and then the camera got unplugged and all the footage got lost, so I don't have any of that. But yeah, here's what the onions and the garlic should look like. As you can see, it's like halfway translucent, and they've been sweated pretty good. And so yeah, this is just gonna cool down a little bit, and then we're gonna add it into the meatballs. My mom has ground up all the pork rinds into the pork panko that we'll be using. So this is what we'll be using as the binder. These are the breadcrumbs. Okay, so we've got our pork panko here. It's nice and, oh, it's very it's greasy.
Fatty.
Yeah. Smells good. So we've got our spices here: tarragon, sage, that's thyme. We've got some pepper flakes to add a little bit of spice, and of course it's not Italian cooking without basil. So are we gonna add this into the pork rinds?
Right now.
We're not gonna add any salt, right? Because there's already salt in the pork rinds.
Well, we will add salt, but we'll kind of, I don't know. It's kind of by ear, really.
So we're
gonna sense how much we put in.
All right,
we
so
need to put in.
Yeah, we're just gonna spice up these pork rinds. Is there like a set amount that you put in, or is it just like eyeballed?
I eyeball it. This is the sage.
That's how most cooking is done anyways, through eyeballing. How much tarragon?
About the same.
Okay. That?
Yeah, right there.
Okay. Ooh, pretty.
Magical. So this is thyme. Some people like a lot of thyme, some people like a little thyme. I like it if it's fresh. If it's dried, I don't like it as much.
Like that?
More.
More? Okay.
More basil
because it's
than
basil,
everything else.
Yeah. Seriously, I was thinking about it this morning, and we're already like 1/6 of the way through the year.
Right, so this is the crushed red pepper. If you're not a spicy fan,
you can omit it.
You can omit it. It's not necessary, but we like it in ours.
But yeah, so now we're just gonna mix her up, and then we'll throw it in with the meat and the eggs and the
onions and
the sweated onions and
need
garlic.
to go in there.
And with this?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, this is the flavor part, so I like to put all of the flavor in all together. It gets mixed up.
Okay.
And then we put the meat in. All right, this is our first pound of ground beef.
Oh my gosh, that smells really good. Oh,
and our second pound of ground beef. That is the first pound of pork, ground pork, not sausage. Just ground pork.
And then, do we add the egg in once it's mixed up a little bit, or?
Yeah, once we mix it up a bit.
Okay, so I'm gonna start mixing this with my freshly washed hands.
You don't want to overwork the meat too much.
Don't overwork the meat?
Nope.
Okay, overworking the meat makes your meatballs tough. Oh, this smells good with the pork rinds and everything. It smells really good. This is giving me deja vu to the sauerkraut video.
I think we're gonna need another egg.
More than one? Okay. Yeah. We've got our mutant egg. All right. Are you gonna add the eggs in now?
Yeah. All right. Mutant egg going in.
And mix, 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 mix. One thing that I actually forgot to mention at the beginning is that we do put Parmesan in our meatballs as well. So right now my mom, she's grating some Parmesan into the mixture. And we also put some salt and some pepper. Something that Mom said is that you season while you go, right?
Yeah, you season every layer.
I'm focusing. So season every layer. So yeah, we're adding in some Parmesan now. And how much Parmesan do you actually end up adding, Mom? About that much?
Like up to, depending on how much you want. I don't know the percentage really. I like Parmesan in ours, so it can be half cup up to a cup.
All right, well, you heard it here first, folks.
Cheesy.
If you like your meatballs extra cheesy, make sure to add a lot of cheese. Okay, so I'm just forming the balls right now. And I've got this ice cream scoop, and it's pretty convenient for forming...
Ice cream?
No, forming your meatballs, Dad. No. But you just scoop, and then you very roughly form it into a ball, and you put it on your pan, and we're just gonna fill up this pan and bake them. And then we're probably gonna form the rest into balls and then freeze them so that we can have them at a later date. Mom's back there getting the sauce going. You don't have to have the meatballs with sauce, but I personally, when we do meatballs on Sundays, I like to have it with the tomato sauce. Alright, so here are the meatballs. They're all ready to go in the oven. I've got 30 total here, 5 by 6, and they are about to go in the oven. So, yeah, the oven's heating up as we speak, and there we go. Kind of took longer than I originally thought, so now we're just kind of rushing to get dinner done. So those have gone in for 20 minutes at about 400 degrees in our convection oven. And so they'll be done in about 20 minutes, but once they're done, we're gonna flip them over so that we can brown them on the other side, because nobody wants a soggy, wet meatball bottom. That's not enjoyable. So yeah, those will be out in probably like 35-ish minutes, and I'm gonna keep on scooping the rest of these. Then I will put the excess on a pan, and then we'll freeze those separately and then put them into bags later. We actually didn't have quite as many extras as I thought we would, just because, I mean, I think we made a little bit more than we usually do this time, but that's just because we have more people who are going to be eating with us today. But I've got 7.5 meatballs right here because I've got this little runt. But I'm going to pop these in the freezer, and then once they are frozen solid, we will bag them up, because you don't want to put them in a bag while they're not frozen, because then they just get all lumped together and stuck, and you don't want that. So not everybody in our family is carnivores, and I kind of mentioned this earlier, but on Sundays, sometimes, since we're doing a lot of homemade stuff that we know the ingredients of, me and my mom will be like dirty carnivores. My mom does it a little bit more often than I do. We'll have things that are maybe less, like, you know, carnivore kosher. Like if there's a homemade bread that we do, like rolls or tortillas or something, then I'll have some of that. Today, I'm probably just gonna have some sauce with my meatballs, just because I don't even really like pasta in the first place. I thought I'd let you guys know, because, like, I mean, you don't have to be eating carnivore 100% of the time to be, like, you know, I guess meat-based, because I'm meat-based like every day of the week, except for the days when the select Sundays where I'm dirty carnivore. And I still do fine. I still perform well in the gym. My mom, she still maintains her weight loss. She still does well in the gym as well. And I mean, for some people, I can understand why, like, that little cheat would maybe affect them more, like if they have autoimmune conditions. But me and my mom, we're lucky enough that we don't have those conditions, and so we can indulge every now and then. Because I personally think that a little treat every now and then is, I mean, objectively it may not be the best for your body, but I think it's good for the soul. And as long as you're not eating that stuff every single day, and it's just one day out of the week, every few weeks, then it's okay. And I know there are some people who would say that any cheating, any indulgence is just bad, it's off the table, it's horrible, it's gonna ruin your life. But honestly, I think sometimes you do owe it to yourself to let yourself have those things that you really, really want. Because at first, when I first went carnivore, I was okay giving up all those things. I didn't miss them. But then as I went on, I felt like I started to need to add more variety, and I started to need to add more things into my diet, just so I could start enjoying food more. Well, not just so I could start having those treats again. And there is an eating disorder aspect of it as well too, where it's like I need to challenge my eating disorder because it gets comfortable doing the same things over and over again. So I need to be okay with not eating 100% meat all the time, if that makes any sense. Like, I need to be able to cope with getting out of my routine, because that's something that the eating disorder is really, really, I guess, what's the word? Strict? Insistent on staying in those routines and never doing anything different. Because if I do something different, then I might get fat or gain weight, but I need to prove to myself that that's not going to happen, that I'm not letting the eating disorder control me, that I have control over my own actions, and that I can overcome the eating disorder and tell it to screw off. And yeah, that's just kind of my mindset behind it, is when I have those days where I don't eat 100% carnivore. But like I said, I think it's okay to give yourself a little treat sometimes. And I think it's important to let yourself have those treats.
If you can tolerate them.
Yeah, if you can tolerate them. Okay, I was just talking with my mom actually, and one thing that I would like to clarify is that when me and my mom, when we go off of carnivore eating for a day, or it's not even a day, it's literally for a meal, it's not like we're going straight from carnivore eating right into the standard American diet with all the ultra-processed foods and seed oils and added sugar and junk. Anytime that we do this, we eat stuff that is like whole foods, completely homemade, and we know what the ingredients are, and it's like relatively wholesome ingredients. But yeah, I just wanted to point it out. We don't, like I said, we don't go straight from the carnivore diet right into standard American diet. We're still eating a relatively wholesome meal. It's just maybe sometimes we're adding in some more grains or some vegetables or even a little bit of dessert. Okay, these actually smell like really, really good. They just came out of the oven, and now we're gonna flip them. They smell like really, really good.
Here's your tool.
Hey, thank you. Okay, so we're gonna flip these over, and then how long do they go in for?
About 10 more minutes.
I don't know why. I
do it with my fingers usually.
Well,
because I have asbestos hands.
Yeah, there she goes using her freaking mom powers.
Picked out.
Oh my gosh. Can you? I failed. See you in 10 minutes. Alright, so our meatballs, they're out of the oven now, and here in a bowl, not in the sauce. The rest of them are sitting in the sauce right now, and we're getting ready to eat. And we tried one, and they taste really, really good. They turned out really tasty this time. Okay, so we just finished up eating dinner. Had a good time making them today, and if you try making these meatballs, why don't you let me know? And yeah, we're getting ready to go on a walk right now actually, because it's actually nice enough outside for once. Make sure you like and subscribe, and go eat some meat. Bye. Hi, Snappy. Everybody loves you in the last video.
They've got 11 chickens.